Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 29th of March. Today we got a lot of news from the Ukrainian front lines, and one of the most important news is that today there were negotiations in Turkey, and according to these negotiations, Russians announced that they are planning to move all their forces from the north of Ukraine. It was today. But if you remember my previous video, I told you already yesterday that because of that fact, the Ukrainian forces lost control over Izum, and now there is a small pass, small road, small way, small tunnel, which Russian can use to get their forces on the right side of the river Seversky Donetsk, which allow them to take the Donbas border from the northwest in this side. They drop all their unused forces, all their forces from the north to this region. So we heard a lot about this territory. I spoke a lot, so you know what's going on there. So don't think that Russians' word that they are moving all their force from the north is the sign of that they're planning to finish the war. It is not like this. They moved their forces from this territory to the southwest, to the southeast, and they just wanted to combine these two things, like negotiations, like moving forces from this area, and it's like very good and to showing a very good sign to worldwide press that they're moving forces from the north, and it's very clever step, I would say. So the only thing I would like to tell you about this territory, about the Donbas border, is that today I got the news that Ukrainian forces they blow up the bridge. I will show you on this map. Maybe it will be better for you to see this. We have town Liman. We also spoke about it yesterday, and I know that this, and I think that this town will be the next target of Russians and Ukrainians. They will try to defend this town, and Russians will try to take control over the city because of the fact that this town has control over this road. And the Ukrainian forces they blow up this bridge, and that's mean that they understand that Russians coming from this side, and they need to stop their attack and their impact as much as they can, and they want to slow them as much as possible. And it also a sign that they're leaving these territories and they're planning now to defend themselves in a town named Liman. But today we talk a lot about this area, about Mariupol, about Donbas border. Today I'd like to discuss another two regions. First one is the Nikolaev. There are a lot of news from this town. Mayor of this town, his name is Kim. And this town where this mayor and this town losing Ukrainian forces without battles. This is the town where Russians strike the barracks, Ukrainians barracks, and just using the air rockets and artillery, they managed to kill more than 500 soldiers just when they were sleeping. So this town losing their forces without any battles or clashes. But a few days ago, maybe a week ago, the mayor of this town announced that he has some surprise for Russians. And what was this surprise? From town Mykolaiv, using this river, using these towns which located on the beach, they start to drop small forces right to the south, right on the west side from Kherson. So these territories on the west from Kherson, they are not taken by Russians. It's free towns. I think that Ukrainian forces they don't have any authority there because these cities are very close to Kherson. Russians they also didn't came into these cities. I think that there was some agreement, silent agreement, that we are not bothering you and you are not bothering us. But forces in Nikolaev and headquarters in Nikolaev, they decided that these things cannot go in the same way. So they start to with a small part, with small groups. Usually they did this at night. They start to throw a lot of forces here. And meanwhile, by like few days ago, there was a big group of Ukrainian forces. I can't say that there was so big groups so they will be able to take Kherson or something like this, but of course, this group might cause a lot of problems to Kherson, while the operation in Mariupol is in the process. Why is that? Because here in Kherson there are not much Russian forces. There are more police forces which control the situation in town, and of course some forces which are located in the northwest of the town, and they are blocking and they're blocking any suspicious activities in this area. So of course, if there were any army, at least one or few thousand of Ukrainian soldiers, they could cause a lot of problems to Kherson. They might took some towns, some buildings in the suburbs, and it won't be very good because there are a lot of people in Kherson who support Ukrainian authorities, and of course, there might be a very bad situation. But I don't know how, but Russian intelligence, of course, they found out this situation and they found out a lot of soldiers here, and they recovered all their plans, and they did artillery and rocket strike in this area, and they ruined all the Nikolaev army plans, and these soldiers had to retreat. And after that, one more time, Russian forces, they show Nikolaev who is the boss in these territories, and they did a strike. And you can see a video in my Telegram channel how the town hall of this town was destroyed. It was a very big building, many floors there, and Russian destroyed this building in one shot, and it just was another message to Nikolaev that don't bother us and don't make us angry. So this situation, Nikolaev and many of experts, they think that if this special operation won't end soon, this town would be the next target of Russians, because I think that no matter what we heard from our policies in the world about the ending of this special operation or not ending, you need to understand one thing. I know that for sure. As I knew for sure about the Izium. I know that for sure as I knew about the town named Liman, about the things that Russians start to drop forces here before it was officially announced today. I know exactly that the main target of Russians in this area is Odessa. And you need to understand that I think that Odessa, this town, is the most important target of this special operation in Ukraine at all, for many reasons. Odessa, first of all, is the biggest port in this area, and of course this is the last port which connects Ukraine with sea and with the sea trade all over the world. And you need to understand this, Odessa is totally Russian town. There are more than 50% of population there is Jewish population, but it's like Russian Jewish, Russian speaking language Jewish, and this town was established by the emperor of Russian Empire in I guess if I'm not in 18th century, I guess. So this is totally Russian town. It's one of the pressure of Russian history and culture. So until Russians take this town. I think, my opinion, that no special operation will continue. So we will continue watching this territory. Another front line I would like to discuss today is the north direction. There are three important towns: Chernigov, Sumy, and Kiev. Chernigov is totally blocked from every side, and almost all roads is blocked and or under fire control. There is a catastrophe. There is catastrophe in this town. There is no food, electricity. The population of this town in the peace time more than 300,000 people, and now there are just 160,000 people with army, and but we heard that Russians they are leaving this territory. I'm sure that Russians they are leaving this territory, but I think that they won't leave this territory. According to my opinion, I think that they will leave this territory. These territories, as I told you yesterday, is something like Switzerland cheese, and it's very difficult to control because Russians, they're controlling just roads, and they don't need these roads anymore because they're not planning to attack or blockade Kiev. So why do they need to control such a big territory where, and this territory is totally surrounded by locals, aggressive locals who want to attack, who want to attack Russian forces. So that's why they decided to leave this territory. Some forces, I think, they will go on top to continue blocking the Chernigov. This is very good territory. You see that most of Russian forces, they are on that side of the river, so it will be very difficult for Ukrainians to push Russians back from this territory. Another town I want to discuss is Sumy. Sumy, Russians won't leave this territory as well. There are very nice defense here. Also, the defense line is going through the rivers, through the bridges, and these towns are totally under Russian control. So they don't need to leave this territory. They need this buffer. Of course, they need this buffer. They don't want Ukrainians to establish control over the border. So I think that this territory will be also under Russian control. I will repeat myself. I think Russians will leave just these territories. It's on the east part of north of Ukraine. Now the very important part is the west part of Ukraine, of northwest part from the Kiev. There are many clashes here, very many battles, and you can see here that Ukrainian forces, they want to push Russians as fast as possible, as much as possible on the north. Why is that? Because Russians, they are very close to Kiev. They have established the fire control over this town, and there is no problem to destroy any vehicles, artillery, any support supply from this territory and near Kiev. And Kiev is a very big town, and you need a lot of ammo, equipment, you need everything. It's a capital, so controlling this territory allows Russian forces to freeze and blockade forces here, which are so necessary in the west of Ukraine, in the Donbas border, and these forces, they cannot leave this town. But as far as I see, as far as I understand from today's report and today's negotiations, Russians also are planning to leave this territory. Another reason why they're doing this, you need to understand that in these territories, Russians are fighting not just with Ukrainian forces and or national battalions, they are also fighting with foreign mercenaries. And there are a lot of American mercenaries, a lot of Britain mercenaries, Canada, Australian, South Koreans, Brazilian, French. So there are a big army of mercenaries, and it's professional guys. And of course, it's much more difficult to fight under the siege with such professionals. And it's always clashes here, always battles. And you see that if Ukrainians have a town to protect, to defend themselves, Russian, it's just fields. There are a few towns here, and according to the report and to the words of Minister of Defense, they are planning to also to reduce their presence here. But you need to understand that there is one important object here, is the Chernobyl nuclear station. I'm sure for 100% that Russians, they won't leave this Chernobyl nuclear station. I see that there is, for example, this river. It's a very nice place. There are a few towns. There is also airports. Very nice place to put your forces here on this territory and to keep this territory under Russian control. So I think that they will do something like this. I don't think that they will leave all these territories. But Ukrainians are very aggressive, and the clashes here, I can't say that any of the parties, any of the side winning here. I can't say that. But Russians, they don't have any purpose of holding these territories. The only one purpose here is to control Chernobylsky AES, Chernobylsky Atom nuclear station. This is the only important thing here. There's nothing else already. So that's it. That's it for today. Thank you for your watching. Subscribe my channel and have a good day. Bye bye.